What if I told you that you could memorize those tough science topics could be effortless? I'm talking about the subjects that make your brain feel like it's about to explode. And it's possible. And I'm about to show you how. Do you ever feel like you're stuck just reading your notes over and over again, hoping something would stick? Or worse, do you feel like no matter how hard you try, those tough science concepts just won't stick in your memory? You're not alone. Around 65% of students struggle with memorizing tough concepts, especially in science 2, history, geography. The problem is that they rely too much heavily on their notes and let their brain do all the heavy lifting, which is exactly the wrong approach. Okay, so in this video, you're going to learn how to study less but retain more. I will give you the exact strategy to use active recall for passive reading, automate the study routine, and take data driven decisions on what to focus on so that you never forget anything and revise everything on correct time. Okay. So hi, I'm Joshua Gonsalves, and I specialize in helping students like you to memorize tough concepts easier to remember. The old methods they don't really work in this digital age. But I've discovered a system that will leverage active recall, automation, and smart revision to memorizing tough concepts feel like it's butter. Okay. So I have broken this video into four parts, and let's get to the mind map. Okay. So let's go to that. Okay. So I have broken this into four sections. First, I will tell you what is the problem, why do you face this. Then I will tell you what is the concept. Then I will be telling you what is the solution. And if you stick around till the end, I have something special for you. Okay. Now let me tell you what is the problem. The first problem is depending on notes only. If you only depend on notes, it won't work because notes are just like a bulk of information. But nothing would stick in your brain until you actively recall the information. Okay, you cannot depend on your notes. Second problem is letting your brain do the heavy lifting. If you tell your brain to do everything, like remember for me, plan for me, do everything for me, it won't do because your brain is designed for creativity. Okay. Let me tell you what is the third problem. The third problem is not knowing what to study and revise daily. You don't know what to study and revise daily. That's why you're facing this problem. Okay. Let me tell you what is the fourth problem. The fourth problem is forgetting to revise in the correct time. Because you're forgetting everything. Like you need to, like say if someone says like let's study today the first chapter, then you study that. Then after some months or days, let's say you study the fifth chapter. And let's say let's say today your day to revise the first chapter and you don't know that and you just skip that and you just study the fifth chapter. So what will happen? You forget. So this I'll help you to break that. Okay, forget and revise. That's the main issue. Now let me tell you what is the concept behind this. The first concept is your brain remembers patterns, not paragraphs. Okay, like your brain. Now your notes. Let me tell you what's your notes. Your notes is like a big paragraph, right? But if you remember in patterns, like every pattern you break, and in every pattern, your brain remembers more. Now, after let's say today you revise something, you study something, you revise that again, that becomes into a pattern, and that pattern you can merge it in your brain, and that becomes a full answer. You cannot memorize in just one sitting the full answer. You need to break it into parts, and that when you merge it, it becomes just mind blowing. Let me tell you what is the second concept. The second concept is actively recalling. If you don't actively recall it, it will not work for you. So if you just passively reading a textbook, like reading your history textbook, reading your geography textbook, if you're not able to retain it, there is no meaning in it. Okay, no meaning in it. Now let me tell you what is the third concept. You need to study less and you need to retain more because this is the concept. If you're studying more and retaining less, then there is some issue in your method of studying. Okay. Only and only if you are able to study less and retain more, only then you can do that. Okay. Now let me tell you what is the solution for all of these problems. You saw these problems like this, and this. Now let me tell you what is the solution for this. Now there are three solutions. You need to delegate your work. And delegate your work meaning you don't have to do everything by your own self. You need to give some work to someone else because if you do all the work on your own self, you will not have time to do which is most important. Okay. So you need to delegate your work. Now let me tell you what the second solution. You need to automate your studies. You need to automate it. And third solution which you need to do is you need to take data-driven decisions because you cannot take decisions by your own self. Like let's say you studied this chapter today and you cannot decide like I will study this after. Like this will work for few days and few months, but afterwards when the data becomes bigger, it won't work. Now there's a chapter called statistics in algebra. Okay, and in your 10th grade, Maharashtra board state board, and in that there is the last chapter called mean. There is something called direct mean, assumed mean, okay, and step derivation method. Now when the data is simple, you can do the direct method, but That applies to your own life as well. Now, when you're starting initially, the data is small, like you need to just study 2 3 chapters and that you can just manage it. But when the data will get bigger, you won't be able to manage it. That is the issue. You won't be able to manage when data gets bigger. So you need to take data driven decisions from the very beginning only. Okay. Now I have something special for you. Okay. And that is called the Memory Mastery Launchpad. Okay. Now let me tell you more about this. Now, here's what it gets exciting. I have created something called the Memory Mastery Launchpad, a system that automates the study schedule and automates your study and tracks your progress and ensures you focus on the right topics at the right time. It's the perfect tool to help you memorize even the tough science to history or geography topics without all the stress. If you're tired of struggling with science to topics or history and want a system that will work with your brain, not against it, check out the link in the description of the Memory Mastery Launchpad and be a part of the revolution. Okay, because this system will transform how you study and help you retain information effortlessly. Okay, so just be a part of this and I'll see you inside the webinar. Okay, so all the best.